Greetings, I'm John, aka Jab. It is Monday, August 26, 2013, and this is going to be a very interesting video with, I guarantee you that you're going to hear a lot of things that you've never heard before, but you're going to be surprisingly enlightened. And so this video is about generally the politics slash about a couple of persecuted families. One is a Christian family that fled America and is trying to get over to a small island nation in the Pacific. And I'm also going to mention another family who's trying to get out of Germany and come to the United States. Now, I'm going to make some important clarifications here, and you're going to do a whole lot of, huh? What? Really? That doesn't make sense. So I'm going to clarify. So, yes, I'm going to be talking about a Christian family. I don't know if the German family is Christian or not. I'm not sure, but I know the ones who fled from America to Argentina to go to the Pacific Ocean island nation, they are Christian. I'm atheist. So the first thing we're like, wait a second, don't atheists usually mock and harass Christians or something like that? Or there's so much disagreement? It's like, no, we're not going to be doing that. We're going to handle this intelligently and educated. That's what this video is about, is people understanding other people and understanding what's really going on. So the main thing is people in different countries and stuff, like there's two parts of what makes a country: the actual people and then the government. And I think the majority of the cases, people's governments aren't really their government. They're not really representative of who they are. So if I have a lot of viewers from around the world: Argentina, UK, Canada, Mexico, Singapore, Poland, etc. Just all over the place. I come over there, we hang out, have some food. It's cool. But I talk with your politicians, or you talk with the politicians in your country, not your politicians, because you'd probably want to smack them as much as I would, and vice versa. You'd want to smack the politicians over here, and I don't blame you, because can I get behind you in line? Because I'd like to smack them too. And so it's very important to understand that. So it's not so much people versus people, it's politicians against politicians and all that other jazz. And those politicians do not represent the view and will of the people. And so we're going to, as much as I don't like politics, if you don't talk about politics when you are one of the few educated people who can clarify these things, then, so it's important to speak up when you have something that, hey, you know what, that makes sense and that clarifies the situation. So I'm going to get around to why you shouldn't mock people in general, why it's important, but also how the politics are involved. And this does have ties with globalism, because this let me clarify what globalism. I'm not going to go so much into what it is, but so much as the general premise, or my current understanding. And keep in mind I said the date at the beginning of the video, because things change and so on and so forth. So if I get something incorrectly, please forgive me. I am, of course, only human. So one of the realizations, because I build websites, I work on computers and stuff, I love technology. And I love to see technology progress, but there's a problem with all that, is that technology, as it gets better and better, is going to continue to replace jobs. And yes, technology has created the need for more jobs in certain things, while also misplacing other people in other places for their jobs. But I think at a point that it's going to become to the extent where it just replaces so many people's jobs that people can't work, they just can't find jobs. And I mean, yes, that is a case for a lot of people already, but it's going to become a very prominent, dominant thing. We're not going to be talking about 6, 7, unemployment rate, in the countries that are better off. We're talking like pretty 95% of the current population on the planet is eventually going to become unemployed. Probably. Presuming that technology keeps becoming awesome because, the technology is an extension of natural human abilities. And so the politics of any country, but more so I'm going to be talking about American politics. Not so much, when I say American politics, I'm not really saying politics that represents the will of Americans, but the politics that has taken over America. So if you live in another country and you think that America is kind of like the jerk of the world, it's not American people, it's the globalist agenda and how it's morphed, and I'm going to kind of explain that right now. So in America, we get to deal with two political parties, the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. They both used to be something that they are currently not. The Democrat Party used to be the party of social justice, women's rights, against slavery, stuff like that. Okay, it was good stuff, right? I mean, I'm all for equal rights and all that good stuff. The Republican Party used to be the party of conservatism. What is conservatism? Hey, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. I mean, if you want to do it the wrong way, fine, cool, go do your thing, that's fine. I don't agree with you. I'm going to be over here enjoying doing things the right way, but I'm not going to dictate to you that you're doing things right or wrong. I'm going to stay to myself and say, okay, well, that's nice, and I'll see you if I bother to come to your part of town. Whatever. Okay? It's basically leaving people alone, and if other people are smart enough to realize, hey, they're doing something right and we're not, maybe we should go hang out with them, learn what they're doing, educate ourselves about what we clearly don't know, and hey, maybe we can improve our social and economic condition, and that's the thing. Now the Republican Party has become the party of neocons. Been taken over by people who the politicians are saying, we need to dictate to other people how we should do things. We know better than they do how to run their lives. Which is generally not the case. So, now, I think the majority of Americans are ultimately conservative. Because if you think about it, most people don't really care to tell about other people how they should run their lives. And when you look at liberals and neocons, okay, who are out of balance, okay, most liberals, in my point of view, are conservatives who haven't realized they've been taken advantage of yet. Who haven't realized their party is no longer about social justice. That the Democratic Party that used to be against religious persecution, racial persecution, persecution on your gender, oh, you're a woman, you can't vote, all that stuff, because I like strong women, all right? That the Democratic Party has become the most seethingly racist, sexist, most whatever you would call, about persecuting people because of their religion. It is the most hateful party I have seen since, what we told as the Nazi Party, okay? And back in, Germany in the 30s and the 40s and all that. I would actually put them pretty much on par with Nazis, except for the fact that this is America, and we have guns, and we know why we have our guns. And it's not for hunting. The reason why we have the freedom to bear arms in the Constitution is because the British tried to take our guns, and they tried to tax us without giving us representation. Taxation without representation equals we will hold our guns up in your face and tell you leave or we will shoot. That's defending. So when someone takes your money, there better be a damn good reason someone's taking your money, like 33% of your paycheck. Okay? Which you should question, by the way, but people don't. Okay. So the Republican Party, in turn, just like the Democratic Party is now the party of racism and sexism, the Republican Party has been used to dictate oh, this is how we have to tell people how to live their lives. I don't think most neocon voters, I'm not talking about politicians, I'm talking about voters, okay? Just like I don't think most liberals realize that they've been taken advantage of. Because I think most liberals, I was once liberal. I wouldn't say blindly liberal, but I was moderately liberal. But hey, wow, I didn't realize how racist and sexist the things that the Democratic Party are doing are. And I was like, I voted for those people. I didn't realize that. Just like neocons they might think they're conservative, but they don't realize they've been turned into neocons because they're voting for politicians who are dictating to others. Oh, we have to show them the American way and blah 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 and all this other stuff, and we have to send $1 billion to Egypt. Wait, huh? Why are we sending billions of dollars of taxpayer money to Egypt? Why is that money being given to the government in the first place? So we can give it to people that the Egyptians aren't our politicians. They're not our government. They're not doing anything for us, and the government is supporting terrorism across the world. Okay, so anyway, American politics have been completely skewed from what they used to be. So when you look at religion, an example, because I could very easily talk about how the sexism of the Democratic Party and the wars and stuff, the Republican Party and all the other stuff, but we're going to talk about religion. And it's like, well, why would an atheist care to speak up in defense of a religious family? That's a little odd, right? Well, the thing is most atheists I've encountered are liberal. And again, I think there's always going to be that small segment of people. It doesn't matter. It could be political, racial, gender, whatever. And there's always going to be that small segment of people who are really nasty. Who, like, for example, you might say, all the Germans in Germany in the 30s and 40s were Nazis. That's kind of stupid. That's actually pretty racist, too. That's like saying all Jews are evil because the Jews in Hollywood are a bunch of racist and sexist pigs, which they are, and they're vehemently racist and sexist, and they also hate religion vehemently, and they want to destroy the family structure, part of globalism, okay? But would you say that about all Jews? No. I know a lot of really nice Jewish people are not communist filth, okay? So it's very important to understand that just like, hey, you have a country, you have the people who actually live there, and then you have the politicians, which are the leeches. And yeah, maybe there are some good politicians, like Ron Paul, the only conservative who ran against Obama, and when Obama was running again. Maybe there was another conservative, maybe, but the neocons fought against the only conservative that was running against Obama. And they ended up, they drowned out the only conservative because they're neocons. Okay, well then we'll just not vote for Republicans. That's a very important clarification. I'm not a Republican, I'm a conservative. I don't know, I really wouldn't want to probably say, if I were in someone else's shoes, I wouldn't probably say I was liberal. I'd find another way to describe association with being for social justice, but not associated with being liberal or democratic, just like I wouldn't associate myself with being a Republican or a neocon. Conservative, that's about balance, not about moderation. Moderation is, here's $10 to everyone, please like me. That's what moderation is. Balance is about, well, this is too extreme in this end, this is too extreme in that end. Okay? So, while we could talk about wars and stuff, that's a different topic. I want to talk about religious persecution in America, which is kind of odd because, yes, I definitely disagree with the notion that America is a Christian nation. It is not a Christian nation. America, now, yes, the majority of Americans may be Christian, and that's fine. And I'm going to make some clarifications here that everyone is going to either agree or disagree, but no one is going to, I guarantee you, no one watching this video is going to disagree with everything I'm going to say, unless you're like some crazy religious or racist or sexist, or you're really, really way out there, okay? So, part of globalism and what it wants to do is, because technology is going to eventually negate most jobs, okay, as technology gets really, really great. And yes, I am all for technology improving and making people's lives better. But I become aware of the possible issue that because technology will continue to get a lot better, and consumerism, which has been forced upon America by globalists, where people, discard large amounts of trash, and people don't really recycle as much as they should, and all this other stuff. I think part of what happened there with the globalist mentality. Now, globalism is that the highest form of politics you can talk about. Okay, there's nothing above globalism unless you're talking intergalactic politics, which I don't have anything to say about that right now at this time. So I think part of the reason with globalist politics is that they've really cornered themselves in. Think of the Egyptians as an example. All right, this is not so much as a direct comparison as an analogy. I'm not an Egyptologist or whatever you would call it, ologist or whatever, but my understanding is that at some point the Egyptian royalty thought that they could only remain gods if they mated within their own bloodline, which is basically incest. And basically, the more incest that occurs, the worse the genes are and the worse the health is. That doesn't work too well. And sometimes you need an influx of not your sister or brother or your cousin, okay? Because that doesn't work out too well. And the other extreme doesn't work out well either, okay? So with globalist politics, and there's been, talk about the sociology of, the mentality of people who promote or involved in globalist politics. And I think a lot of it is hey, let's just kill people. Let's just get rid of the population in a violent manner. And I think that reflects kind of poorly, because if these people were extremely wealthy and really well educated, they can't come to any better conclusion? What about educating people? What about giving people incentives to have smaller families? I mean, you may disagree with China's one-child policy, but it's a very clear example. Look, 1 billion people. How do you feed 1 billion people? How do you get jobs for 1 billion people? Yeah, you're not going to give jobs for all the billion, because you're going to have elderly, kids in school, people who are crippled, etc. So you might only need, say, 600 million jobs, but you still need 600 million jobs. So, yes, I think overpopulation is a side effect, but when you look at globalism, the part of it is the breakdown of the family structure and the association with ethics and religion. Now, I'm going to make some more clarifications, and part of it is ethics and morality are not derived from religion, period. They're associated with religion, alright? Like if you encounter, let's say, really nasty people of one given religion. Let's say the purple and red book religion, okay, because I have a purple and red book there, and I'm just going to say something that doesn't exist. And all the people you ever associated with are really kind of nasty. No. I think a big part of it is that another analogy. Cancer does not run in the family. Alzheimer's does not run in the family. Dementia does not run in the family. You know what runs in the family? Eating habits run in the family. Alright? If you love pizza and your family always had pizza, you're probably going to always eat pizza. after you grow up, you move out, and all that other good stuff. Lasagna, whatever food you ate with your family, you probably still eat that food. Yeah, on occasion, like I said before, you have groups, race, religion, family, whatever, where they do, they're just not like that. Okay, but in general, eating habits fall through the family. There's no cancer isn't caused by genetics so much. Maybe a little genetics, okay, but the majority of it is what you put in your body, what you put on your body, like aluminum and sunscreen or deodorant, which goes through your digestive system and is enhanced by fluoride in the water, which is cancerous and poisonous itself. Fluoride increases the amount of aluminum that gets through your digestive tract, goes to your brain, and causes Alzheimer's, dementia, and all these other mental diseases. This is part of the dumbing down process. This is part of the breakdown of society in order to basically reduce the population. I'm not against population decrease, so that way, hey, if we just don't have that many jobs to sustain that many people, then, we don't need 10, 20 kids on the farm anymore because we're not farmers anymore. Fine. I mean, if you're a farmer, fine, that's fine. If you need the farmhands, fine. There's different, I'm sure there's different ways of doing that. But that's a lot of how the lifestyle of people has changed. I mean, what did you have 100 years ago? Did you have a phone? If you did, it wasn't a cell phone. Did you have a PlayStation, an Xbox? Did you have a computer even 50 years ago? Did you have air conditioning 70 years ago? You had to go to the movie theater. So a lot of changes have occurred, and yeah, I would say part of it is a limitation of what the global elite have say. I mean, you have a general mentality that's associated there. Like, for example, when I have my business, I'm going to be in control, not my board of directors, because Opera, which is a technical company, made a financial decision that was purely about as anti-technical as it became. So you have all these clashing politics. And so, in part, when we go back to American politics, and the Democrat and Republican, and how the Republican Party has its agenda, which is not for the people, and the Democrat Party has its agenda that is not for the people. And here is an atheist defending a Christian family, and you're like, what is all this craziness? Well, I'm hopefully clarifying a lot of this stuff for people, so it makes sense. Now, if you've never heard of any of this stuff, then, well, stop watching TV and go research on the internet. No, not everything you see and read and come across on the internet is going to be true, and I'm sure I may have gotten a few things wrong here or there, okay? But the thing is, hey, live and learn, educate yourself, become better educated, alright? Because that's the thing. It's fine if you make a mistake. It's not fine if you get stuck in that permanently. So, part of the Democratic Party, their thing is they've completely reversed. Now they're about social injustice. They're about attacking religion, family values, about attacking the core of the family, alright? And so part of that is with religion and ethics and morals and values. Well, people generally associate ethics and religion together, and like I said, that's not true. And it goes back to eating habits and stuff. Just like, it's not about, genes and it runs in the family. It's what you're doing that you're repeating generation after generation. And that's why you might have two families of one religion where, hey, our family's all great and we're really, well, educated and we have good ethics and morals, and that family down the street, they're not, but they're the same religion as us, or vice versa. Maybe you're fairly educated, but your family is kind of and you're kind of like, this family is, doesn't really represent me as an individual, etc. Alright, there's a lot of people in a lot of different situations. It's important to understand, hey, I'm a conservative atheist and I'm defending a Christian family. So you can have all sorts of combinations of someone who might be a certain race who is not usually of a certain religion, or vice versa. Or someone who you might have, like, for example, you might have someone Middle Eastern, Jewish or Islamic traditionally, and they're atheist, or vice versa, or something completely different. And you might have someone who might be of a certain type of view on religion, like I'm atheist. Most atheists that I've encountered, at least in my travels, have been liberal. And I really did not agree with a lot of the politics that would be described by liberal atheists. But you would, in some cases when you're talking about how religion has done harm, because religion can be good and bad, it depends on the context. An example, you watch TV long enough, you hear about the Middle East, and you think all Jews and Muslims hate each other. There are a lot of places where Jews and Muslims coexist in peace. But you don't know about it, because the global elite and the globalism want all the different religions fighting, want all the different races fighting, want men and women to not get along and break down the family structure. And that's a big part of it. And I think it would be a better reflection to approach things by educating people. Education's not that expensive. Figuring out the right thing to say is a matter of finding the right person and having them put it in a way that people understand it. Because you can talk to pretty much, I think, here's the thing, no one will ever do something unless they think it's in their absolute best interest. You can find the most crazy pants jerkface in the world, alright, and they're so out of their mind, but in their mind, they're doing the best thing that they think is in their best interest. That's the thing that every person on the face of the planet has. And that's why when I look at, I was on Facebook, it's spelled FACECROOK. It redirects to Facebook, this NSA spy network. I'm sorry, I meant to say social networking website, where I saw that a friend who unfortunately is liberal, but she's intelligent, okay, and apparently Facebook decided I needed to know that she liked this post, and it was these people harassing this Christian family that they were leaving the United States. They left the United States and they went to Argentina, and they left Argentina across very questionable means of transportation across like thousands of miles of the Pacific Ocean. And I stop and I think, why do we need to mock these people? What does mockery achieve? Does it do anything productive? Does it make the world a better place? Does it solve a problem? Does it solve their problem? Does it solve the problem that made them decide they couldn't stay in the United States? Given another example, there's a family, I don't know if they're a Christian family, and I don't know their religious background, but in Germany it's illegal to homeschool, which is hugely BS, because I would never put my, hopefully when I find someone who is sane, and there are plenty of sane women out there, they just apparently don't live in Florida, okay, but when I find someone sane and intelligent, and someone who, oh my goodness, I could leave this person, if I died, and this person raised their children on their own, they would still grow up to be respectable people who are productive members of society. Once eventually I meet that kind of person, I want to homeschool my children, okay? And you might have come to this mindset, oh, homeschooling is for rednecks or people who are anti-government and blah blah blah. And then when you find out that the government is sending $1 billion to Egypt, and they're buying billions of rounds of ammunition and tanks, and it's for domestic defense, I'll say, well, it's not like we had 10 million Libyans 10 miles off the coast of the Delaware coast, so why was Obama without congressional approval bombing Libya? Why was George Bush and the lack of 10 million Iraqis or 10 million Afghanistans 10 miles up the Florida coast or 10 miles off the Californian coast going to war? Okay, they might be the different parties, but that's not social justice. That's not conservatism. That's globalism. Okay? So if you care about social justice, you want to vote for a conservative. That means you have to figure out who is actual conservative. Ron Paul is a conservative. All right? If you care about, how people, live their lives, live by example. So when I see someone mocking other families, and by the way, before I forget, the German family, they wanted to homeschool here in America. They couldn't do that in Germany. So when I think about other countries. I have someone watching from Japan, or Germany, or Israel, or Italy, or the UK, or Argentina, or Turkey, or Brazil, or Peru, Mexico, wherever, okay? I think about you guys, not your government. And I really don't care about what other people's governments think, because that's pretty much null and void. Because those governments never represent what you guys actually think they should be doing. And that's part of, the media, or the racist, genocidal, maniac commies, who a lot of people mistakenly think all Jews are like that. No. That's a political thing. That's a small segment of the population who decided to go crazy. Does not represent, I've done business with some nice Jews who are not like that. I know Arabs who are not crazy, psychopants, Islamists, but then the government uses that for excuses for terrorism and all that. Complete BS. Understand the people, not what the media wants you to think of the people in that country. So when you go back to, and I've hit upon a lot of important points about what people should concentrate on and how they're being misrepresented. That's why I don't watch TV, I don't read the newspaper, I get my information online. And yes, I'll give you an example. You go on Twitter. Because I build websites from scratch. I have a whole platform that I built from scratch by myself. I understand how this technology works. So I look at something like Twitter. I know how Twitter works. I know about automated bots. You have three things on the web. You have human beings like you and myself. Okay. You have search engines like Google and Bing and Yahoo have to actually go to a website, look at, say, oh, now I know this website exists, so now if this person searches for this content, I can put this result in the search engine. And you have bots that they're programs that automatically post things. And you go on Twitter and you see these things, you'll just see that you'll see things all marked as hashtag as racist. But when you click on the hashtag and you go through all those things, if you see them repeated so many times, those are bots. That's government propaganda, going back up to globalism. And if you don't understand globalism, research it. And that's the big thing. And when I'll give you an example, fluoride. They're still using propaganda to say, oh, fluoride's good for you, you should put it on your teeth, and it's good for your bones, and it's poison. They've actually had contamination spills where whole buckets of fluoride spilled on the concrete and ate the concrete. But they still think people are stupid. They still think people think that fluoride is good for you. Now, it's perfectly okay if you thought, oh, what are you talking about? Fluoride's in my toothpaste. Of course it's good for me. It's not like anyone would do that and betray my trust. Yeah, but not everyone is evil. You could get like fluoride-free toothpaste. There's Shackley's apparently has that. Tom's of Maine. I apologize. I only know what's in America, and I don't know if all my viewers can find fluoride-free toothpaste. But just for clarification, the fluoride increases the aluminum. The aluminum goes to the brain. Alzheimer's, dementia, all that stuff. I think I already covered that. So all that politics, and we go back to that Christian family. So I have to ask, why aren't we pausing and saying, why does that family feel the need to leave America? Wasn't America supposed to be a country where you go to escape oppression? Okay? Where now, if you do enough reading, you hear that, oh, the deed restrictions say you can't grow a garden on your lawn. Screw you! I want real food. That I don't want fish genes in my carrots or my corn or whatever. I don't want genetically modified junk that's going to give me cancer and all these other diseases, because these companies knowingly do this, and then the government, who's in their pockets, and these corporations, part of the globalist agenda, it's so much easier to educate people. And people are always going to get educated. Internet or not. You shut down the internet, well, there's going to still be networks. You can't shut off the internet. Even though they've tried to do that. Obama wanted a kill switch for the internet. And I'm pretty sure George Bush did too. All the stuff that George Bush did, Obama's continued. And if that does not clarify, if that does not ring a bell in your head, then maybe one day that person who just does not get it, something will click. But I think most people have just enough balance, at least, that when they hear things put into a perspective that is sane, we realize we're all human beings. We all appreciate shelter, food, a little companionship. We all have the same concerns. We all, have goals in life. Like next week, I have plans to breathe. I plan not to die. I plan to help people and make money in doing so. Stuff like that. It was when you look at other people, because when I see other people mocking people, I see the globalist agenda of attacking religion. No, I don't agree with religion. But I say, look, if you're going to decide to become atheist, don't become atheist because you hate religion. Become atheist because you you didn't really believe in it. But don't abandon your morals. Don't become some mindless liberal. When I say liberal, mindless liberal, I'm not talking about balanced liberals who they just didn't realize, they're decent people. They just haven't realized that they've been taken advantage of. I'm talking about the ones who are really causing trouble. The scathing racist. They're saying, oh, if you're white, you can't say you're proud because that makes you racist. So what? I'm proud of my heritage. That doesn't mean I hate someone else. Okay? Why can someone else say they're proud? Because that's part of racism. Racism is racism, regardless of who's saying it. Alright? So when you have, it's the same thing. Attack on gender. There's attack on women all the time. All women. Attack on all races. You just have to figure out where it is. Okay? America's predominantly white, predominantly European. Go to another country. In fact, for my international viewers, if you would be so kind, post, and as long as you don't say something bigoted, or communist, or globalist, or something that's nasty, and don't swear, but say, like if you live in Japan, what is it that you're not allowed to say? You're proud to be Japanese, and blah blah blah. Oh, that must be racist. Post how they do that. If you live in whatever country, it doesn't matter, even if you're not in a large country, what propaganda is being used against you to suppress how you feel and think? Because there's a difference between saying, yes, this is my heritage, and I care about my heritage, and I'm proud about my heritage, which is not the same thing as, we need to go kill those people over there. That's government, that's politics, that's propaganda, that's globalist, that's not you and me. There's a big difference. And so when I see people mocking other people, okay, go ahead and mock people. Because guess what? It means I know those people who are mocking others are not worth my time. That they're so socially insecure that, and they lack the sense to say, why? I'll give you an example. When I, as a businessman, when I'm working on my web platform and I come across some new technology, oh, this is cool, and I'm going to go and play with it. No. How is it useful? I mean, it's cool and all, But is it useful? Okay, it's not useful on its own. Is it useful in conjunction with something else? No. Yes, no. Okay, maybe it is, maybe it's not. Is it useful? Did I find a use? Yes. Okay. Is it worth my time to implement this? Yes. So when I see something of social injustice, I see people mocking a religious family, or maybe making fun of someone because of their race, or their religion, or their gender, or whatever. Because this whole, especially the gender war thing, that's gotta die. It's gotta die. The gender war thing, I get sick and tired of hearing men versus women. Occasionally you might hear a funny joke, but I mean, really, it's dumb. Because it's only there to drive people apart. Hello? Marriage jokes, anyone? Alright. My question is, why does a religious family, regardless of their religion, okay, but most especially, why would a Christian family, not in what I would say, I wouldn't say America is a Christian nation. I have no problem with Christians, it's cool. You know, a lot of my clients are Christian, that's fine, I have no qualms with that. They go to church, I'm not going to complain about that, there's no reason to complain. Okay? So why would a Christian family in a predominantly Christian nation feel the need to leave their country? That's what I would ask. Okay? Sure, I mean, you're going to come across people who are really smart, but then they don't know anything about computers, and they feel ashamed. None of my clients, part of my thing is I want to make sure my clients don't feel ashamed they don't know about computers. That's cool. You don't have to know about computers. I need your business. I appreciate your business. I want to help you. You know, I really don't care about cars. I really don't care about mechanics. I don't. I'm not saying, hey, mechanic people are evil and they're bad, or no, I'm not. It's not my interest. And you know, I come across someone who's going to do honest mechanical work and help me out with stuff. I appreciate that. Okay? You should never feel ashamed of your ignorance unless it's really something you should know about. And the thing is, like, I have a lot of people, like, if some family members say, you can't talk about politics like that, and blah, 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 and oh, you can't say that. Well, how do you educate yourself if you don't talk and discuss things? Ask questions. I think the thing is, it's okay if you know that you don't know enough. At least you have that advantage versus someone who doesn't know that they don't know enough, and they don't know that they don't know enough. And research. And, you know, why do we have, you know, shouldn't persecution not be a big thing in Germany and America? Why do families, you know, what is, you know, when you have, you might have something, I was thinking, well, maybe if you want to mock someone, you know, the guy who tried to rob a gun store with a baseball bat. But I was thinking, no, I can't even justify that, because the more I think about things, and yeah, there's a time for laughter, okay? But this is not one of those videos, or, you know, not every video can be, you know, you have to have a balance. Yeah, go out, have fun. Go have some, you know, enjoy some life. You can't always be on mission critical things. You can't always be doing super serious stuff. Not all my videos are going to be video games, but not all my videos are going to be super serious topics either. So if people don't talk about things, it doesn't get better, and that's an important thing. So when we talk about, like, for example, the guy who goes and he tries to rob a gun store with a baseball bat. Yeah, that's stupid, but the question that rises in my mind after I think about it, and no, it did not rise to my mind as quickly as the religious family. So I think, okay, well, you know, I haven't thought about as much as about mental health, which is becoming a huge issue, because our country, and I'm sure a lot of other countries, it's all about materialism. Me, 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 me. It's all about me and what I own, and not your family, and not your friends. So the next time you think to laugh at someone or post something, it's not about all feelings and hurting people. No. It's, what does that say about that aspect of our society? what does it say about the things that we're not talking about? That's just my take on it. And I hope that it's clarified some things for some people. Because I know a lot of people are kind of just stuck in some sort of mental, just knot, where they just can't get their heads around certain things. Because they just haven't encountered people in a certain fashion that says, yeah, these different people, whether they have different religious views or a different race, or you just haven't talked, maybe everyone you've encountered is highly emotional. Yeah, there are a lot of highly emotional. But I know 2 women in my life, a friend, one a couple hours away, and another is the wife of one of my best friends. They're very, very calm, collected people, and not all women are that way. But maybe, some people literally have lived lives where maybe all women they've ever encountered are irrational, or maybe they've been taught in a way to think that women are that way. There's a lot of that, and it's about learning how to approach people, So, I don't know. My thing is, go out there, educate yourself, research the topics, be aware when you do like a Google search that Google is customizing the search to appease to you. So you could try different search engines. DuckDuckGo uses Google, but without letting Google know you are you. Because here's the thing: a lot of these search engines, the first page will be predominantly the same thing. But if you search enough, like for example on fluoride, it should be very clear with fluoride at this point, because what's the saying? Whatever is it's the duck's looser, the gig's up. Everyone, most people know fluoride's bad for you. It's all over the internet, and so the search results are not just why fluoride's good for you, and why fluoride's good for you, and it's why fluoride's bad for you. Oh, we support fluoride. Why fluoride's bad for you? We support fluoride. It's a mix, and when you see that mix, that's the point where you say, well, it's not across the board agreed upon. Maybe we need to look at both sides. And then you look at the people who are supporting the nastier stuff, and you realize, who paid this person? Why are we supporting this? And why are we against this? Or vice versa? Because the whole thing of globalism is, what is good is supposed to be evil, and what is evil is supposed to be good. Don't tolerate the intolerable, but never forget to tolerate what is tolerable. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps some people out there. Have a great day, and much love to all my fans in all my countries. See you later.